Have you ever walked into a room and felt the air thicken, not with a scent or a sound, but with an unspoken tension that made your skin prickle? Perhaps someone greeted you with a voice like velvet, soft, melodic, and draped in a gentle smile. Yet deep within the quiet chambers of your intuition, a bell began to toll. You answered their seemingly innocent inquiry, and in that heartbeat, you felt the floor shift beneath you. You didn't see the snare until your foot was already caught. This is the subtle, elegant, and devastating architecture of deception. In the modern world, we are often conditioned to watch for the storm, the raised voice, the slamming door, the overt insult. But true manipulation rarely arrives with a roar. It enters on tiptoe, cloaked in the language of concern and the cadence of friendship. It operates through the calculated use of questions. These are not questions designed to seek the light of truth, but rather to cast shadows across your own judgment. They are seeds of self-doubt planted in the fertile soil of your empathy, intended to make you turn against yourself until you become your own jailer. The Stoic Sanctuary. Centuries ago, the Stoic philosophers Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius navigated these same treacherous waters of the human psyche. They understood that our greatest vulnerability is not our circumstances, but our emotional imbalance. They taught that while we cannot control the words that leave another person's lips, we have absolute sovereignty over how those words land within our own minds. To live as a Stoic is to cultivate an inner fortress, a place of apatheia or emotional clarity. This is not a cold indifference, but a profound state of being where your reason is so refined that the manipulations of others simply lose their grip. When you are rooted in principle, you are like a blade in stillness, sharp, silent, and sure. You become the calm within the storm, the player rather than the piece on someone else's board, expanding your inner horizon. In this exploration, we are going to deconstruct 5 of the most sophisticated questions used by those who seek to control rather than connect. We will peel back the silk packaging of these queries to reveal the daggers hidden within. More importantly, we will learn how to respond with the poise of a philosopher, not with defensive anger, but with the immovable strength of truth. Before we dive into the first lesson, let us begin by sharpening your inner armor. Practical exercise, the mirror of perception. To prepare your mind for the lessons ahead, perform this reflective exercise tonight. It is designed to help you distinguish between your internal truth and the external narratives others try to impose upon you. The catalogue of shadows. Find a quiet space and a journal. List 3 recent instances where a conversation left you feeling wrong, guilty, or confused, even though you couldn't quite pinpoint why. Write down the specific questions the other person asked. The Stoic filter. For each instance, ask yourself, did this question seek information, or did it seek to change my behavior or feelings? If the goal was to make you defend yourself or stop questioning, it was a tool of control, not a bridge of communication. The breath of stillness. Close your eyes and visualize these questions as pebbles being thrown into a deep, still lake. You are the lake. The pebbles cause ripples on the surface, but the depths remain untouched. Practice breathing into that depth, reminding yourself, their reaction is not my burden. The journey toward clarity. True power is not found in the ability to dominate others, but in the refusal to be dominated by their illusions. When you see clearly, you become a threat to the manipulator, not because you are violent, but because you are uncontrollable. You are awake in a world that often prefers to sleep. Stay with me as we navigate these 5 psychological traps. By the end of our time together, you will no longer be caught off guard. You will possess the mental clarity to walk through the fire of emotional warfare and emerge untouched. Lesson 1. The alchemy of perception. Why are you being so sensitive? The first weapon in the manipulator's arsenal is often disguised as a whisper of concern. It is the question, why are you being so sensitive? On the surface, it carries the flavor of compassion, perhaps even a hint of worry for your well-being. But beneath that soft veneer lies a dark strategy of erosion. This is not a question born of curiosity. It is a calculated criticism designed to suggest that your emotions are unreliable and your internal compass is broken. By asking this, the manipulator shifts the burden of the conflict onto your shoulders. They are essentially telling you, I am not the problem. Your reaction to me is the problem. It is a form of emotional gaslighting that attempts to reframe your keen awareness as a character flaw. Whether it's in a personal relationship where you sense a shift in honesty or in a professional setting where you notice an ethical inconsistency, this question is a tool used to silence the very instincts that protect you. The Stoic reversal, sensitivity as vigilance. The Stoics understood that our perceptions are the gateway to our reality. Seneca famously noted that we often suffer more in our imagination than in reality, and the manipulator preys upon this by trying to make you imagine that your judgment is faulty. They want you to become your own jailer, questioning your eyes and ears until you surrender your perspective. However, in the Stoic tradition, sensitivity is not a weakness to be purged. It is clarity coupled with reason. Think of the precision required by a master artisan or a navigator reading the stars. Their sensitivity to minute details is what ensures their success. Your sensitivity is your inner radar. It is the trait that allows you to detect subtle changes in behavior or inconsistencies in a narrative long before the truth is fully exposed. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations that he would be happy to be shown he was wrong, for he sought the truth above all else. A person who truly respects you will honor your awareness, even if it challenges them. Only those with something to hide will attempt to shut it down. Practical exercise, the objective observer. To master your response to this manipulation, practice the technique of objective relabeling. Deconstruct the label. When someone calls you too sensitive, pause. In your mind, replace that word with perceptive or observant. Recognize that they are using a loaded word to trigger your shame. The fact check. Quickly list 3 objective facts that led to your feeling. For example, I am not sensitive. I am responding to the fact that the tone changed, the deadline was missed, and the explanation didn't match the previous one. The neutral stance. Visualize yourself as a scientist observing a chemical reaction. The scientist doesn't apologize for the reaction occurring. They simply note its existence. By detaching your identity from their label, you maintain your composure. The elegant response. When this question is leveled against you, the goal of the Stoic is not to lash out in defense or shrink in shame. Instead, you meet their gaze with the calm of a steady flame. Your response should be brief, firm, and designed to return the focus to the observer. The script. I'm not being sensitive, I'm being perceptive. Does that make you uncomfortable? This single sentence shifts the atmosphere. You have refused the label of weakness and instead identified your awareness as a strength. By asking if your perception makes them uncomfortable, you place the spotlight back on their behavior where it belongs. Lesson 2. The command for blindness. You trust me, don't you? There is perhaps no question more disarming or more heavy with unstated pressure than, "You trust me, right?" It arrives wrapped in the language of intimacy and affection, yet it functions as a gag. This question is not an invitation to build a deeper bond. It is a demand for you to stop thinking, stop observing, and stop asking questions. A person of integrity understands that trust is a living thing. It is earned through consistency, transparency, and time. Those who are truly trustworthy rarely feel the need to ask for your trust, because their actions provide all the evidence required. When someone demands your trust as a prerequisite for their behavior, they are asking for blind belief. And as the Stoics knew, blind belief is the fertile ground where lies take root and flourish. The Stoic barrier: discernment over guilt. Epictetus taught that it is impossible to learn what we think we already know. Manipulators use the trust question to make you feel as though your caution is a form of betrayal, a moral failing on your part. They want you to feel guilty for needing clarity, as if your desire for truth is an insult to their character. A Stoic, however, practices apatheia, not a lack of feeling, but a clarity of emotion that allows for objective judgment. Discernment is not a betrayal of the other person. It is an act of wisdom and self-respect. Whether it is a business partner refusing to show financial records or a companion hiding their communications, the demand for trust in the absence of transparency is a red flag. You are not a bad person for requiring evidence. You are a person of reason. Practical exercise: the pillars of trust. Use this exercise to recalibrate your understanding of what trust actually requires. Define the pillars. List the 3 pillars you require for trust. For example, consistency, transparency, and accountability. The integrity audit. Look at the situation where you are being asked for trust. Does it meet these 3 pillars? If the person is asking for trust while being inconsistent or opaque, recognize that they are asking you to abandon your principles. The guilt release. Breathe out the word guilt. Remind yourself, my judgment is my own. To abandon it is to abandon my nature. The elegant response. The Stoic does not react with anger, which would only give the manipulator more fuel. Instead, you remain centered and address the logic of the request directly. The script. Trust is something you earn over time. Are you asking me to abandon my judgment? By framing your response this way, you remove the emotional weight of loyalty and replace it with the intellectual weight of judgment. You are signaling that your mind is not for sale and that you will not be shamed into silence. Lesson 3. The defensive pivot. Are you accusing me? The third question is a masterpiece of psychological misdirection. It is designed to create confusion and instantly turn the tables on you. Imagine you have noticed a discrepancy, a small crack in a story or a shift in behavior, and you bring it up with the intention of seeking clarity. Instead of a thoughtful explanation, you are met with a sharp, dramatic retort. Wait, are you accusing me? In an instant, the roles are reversed. You, the observer seeking truth, are suddenly cast as the aggressor. The focus shifts away from their suspicious behavior and centers entirely on your perceived lack of kindness or hostility. This tactic relies on your desire to be seen as a reasonable, non-confrontational person. Most people, when faced with this, begin to backpedal and apologize, trying to ease the tension they didn't even create. In doing so, you inadvertently hand over your power. The Stoic silence, refusing the bait. Marcus Aurelius once wrote that the best answer to anger is silence. In the context of manipulation, this silence is not a sign of submission. It is the ultimate expression of strength. It is the refusal to play a game where the rules are rigged against you. A Stoic understands that when someone reacts with high decibel defensiveness to a low decibel question, they are attempting to rattle the judge. Think of a court of law. If a guilty party can make the judge feel guilty for asking for evidence, the entire system of justice collapses. The manipulator wants to drag you into an emotional reaction because, in that state, your reason is clouded. By remaining calm and allowing the space to remain heavy with silence, you force the focus back onto the original inquiry. Practical exercise, the 3-second pause. This exercise is designed to build the muscle of composure when faced with sudden aggression. The count of 3. When someone uses a defensive pivot like, "Are you accusing me?" commit to a mandatory 3-second pause before speaking. Do not break eye contact. Assess the volatility. During those 3 seconds, observe their reaction as an external phenomenon. Ask yourself, why is this question being met with fire instead of light? The anchor breath. Take one slow, deep breath into your diaphragm. This signals to your nervous system that you are safe and in control, preventing the fight or flight response that the manipulator wants to trigger. The elegant response. When they ask if you are accusing them, do not explain. Do not defend your intentions. Simply offer a mirror to their defensiveness. The script. Should I be? These 3 words are devastatingly effective because they refuse to provide the out the manipulator is looking for. You aren't retreating and you aren't attacking. You are simply standing tall in your own certainty. Remember, the one who fears accusation the most is often the one with the most to hide. Lesson 4. The performance of virtue. Would I lie to you? This question comes wrapped in silk, but it conceals a dagger. It is not a request for feedback. It is a performance of feigned hurt. It is meant to make you feel cruel or cynical for even entertaining the possibility of doubt. Why would someone feel the need to ask this unless they already sense your suspicion? It is a preemptive strike against your intuition. By asking, "Would I lie to you?" the manipulator is trying to convince you that you are the bad guy for daring to require honesty. If someone tries to make you feel guilty for needing clarity, they are not protecting your relationship. They are protecting their lie. The Stoic standard, actions over eloquence. Seneca taught a simple principle. If it isn't true, don't say it. If it isn't right, don't do it. A person living by this standard never needs to convince you of their integrity. Their honesty is visible in the consistency of their lives. The Stoic knows that words are cheap, but character is expensive. When a partner hides their phone and then cries, "Would I ever lie to you?" or a colleague refuses accountability by saying, "Do you think I'd lie?" they are using their supposed virtue as a shield against scrutiny. The more someone insists on their honesty, the more alert you must become. Practical exercise, the integrity audit. To detach from the guilt of doubting someone, perform this logical audit. The evidence log. Mentally or on paper, list the actions that have caused your doubt. Focus only on the facts. Missing money, deleted messages, or changed stories. The eloquence filter. Separate their words from their deeds. If their deeds are dark and their words are light, the Stoic follows the deeds. The refusal of shame. Remind yourself, my suspicion is not a moral failing. It is a response to an inconsistency. The elegant response. When faced with this performance, the Stoic responds with presence, not emotion. You shift the conversation from their character to the objective reality of the situation. The script. That's not the question. The question is, would I even know if you did? This response is powerful because it highlights the lack of transparency. You are not calling them a liar. You are pointing out that they have created a situation where truth cannot be verified. Lies struggle to survive when the spotlight of reason is turned directly upon them. Lesson 5. The final plea for silence. Can't we just move on? We come now to the final play in the manipulator's handbook, their last resort when denial, guilt, and performance have all failed to sway you. It is the sigh of exhaustion, the weary request. Can't we just move on? On the surface, this sounds like a call for peace, a promise of closure, and an invitation to return to a state of harmony. However, within the Stoic framework, we recognize this for what it truly is, an attempt to bury accountability without the labor of resolution. What they are actually saying is, I am tired of being questioned, and I want you to stop digging. This is how lies survive, not through the cleverness of the liar, but through the fatigue of the truth seeker. The manipulator waits for that exact moment when you grow weary of the conflict, hoping you will prioritize comfort over clarity. The Stoic stand. Truth has no expiration date. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that if a thing is not right, we must not do it, and if it is not true, we must not say it. He provided no footnotes for convenience or clauses for exhaustion. A Stoic understands that real peace is never built on the suppression of facts. It is built on the firm foundation of clarity. To move on before understanding is reached is not a step forward. It is simply a step deeper into the illusion. In the Stoic tradition, we do not play at someone else's pace. We remain rooted in principle, understanding that time is our ally, not our enemy. Truth endures, and it does not need to be rushed to suit the comfort of those who wish to hide from it. Practical exercise. The tree in the wind. When you feel the pressure to move on for the sake of ending a difficult conversation, utilize this visualization and grounding exercise. The rooting breath. Visualize yourself as a great oak tree. Your roots extend deep into the earth, representing your principles and your commitment to truth. The wind of words. See the manipulator's request as a gust of wind. It may shake your leaves and rattle your branches, but it cannot move your trunk. The clarity check. Ask yourself, am I choosing to move on because the issue is resolved or because I am tired? If it is because you are tired, recognize that the manipulator is using your own exhaustion as a tool against you. The elegant response. The Stoic does not react with a list of grievances or an angry refusal. Instead, you plant yourself with a single, immovable line that preserves your dignity and your standards. The script. I will move forward when I fully understand what happened, not a moment before. Conclusion. Stoic armor in the face of emotional warfare. We have walked through the architecture of deception and analyzed the 5 questions designed to gain control. It is vital to remember that liars do not rely on logic or facts to win. They rely on your emotional imbalance. They seek to weaponize your guilt, your exhaustion, and your fear of being perceived as difficult. This is why Stoicism is your ultimate shield. As Epictetus taught, some things are within our power and others are not. Their reactions, their shaming tactics, and their attempts to wear you down belong to them. Your perception, your reason, and your inner calm belong to you. You are the player, not the piece. You are no longer a pawn in a game you don't understand. By recognizing these 5 traps, the sensitivity shaming, the trust pressure, the defensive pivot, the performance of virtue, and the plea for silence, you have taken back the board. The manipulator's tricks only work if you react emotionally. Take away that reaction, and they are left defenseless. The Stoic does not need to scream to be heard or accuse to be right. They simply see. And in that clear, unclouded awareness, the truth reveals itself. A person who cannot be controlled by illusions is always feared by those who live by them. Final reflection. In your journey toward mental clarity and self-possession, remember that you are not cruel for setting boundaries, nor are you weak for requiring answers. You are simply awake. Take a moment now to ground this knowledge. In the quiet of your own mind, or in the comments below, affirm your commitment to yourself with these 3 words: I choose clarity. Walk as the Stoic does, steady, observant, and unshakable.